It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Seoul, and the hot season is starting, so it's gonna be really warm today. And I am standing right by Seoul City Wall, which is a very long wall built around Seoul City. It was built in 1396 and it's about 18 kilometers long. And I would like to show you my favorite trail that goes along this wall while telling you how my time in South Korea changed me as a person. Also, this area is pretty nice. It has some really good traditional buildings. And this led me to the first point that I want to share with you, is that after spending years and years here in South Korea, I kind of was forced to discover things if I wanted to see more of the culture, more of the country. I'm really down to actually spend a day in the hot weather or driving very long time in the traffic somewhere just to see or enjoy something for maybe an hour or so. And this includes hiking as well, because sometimes a lot of these mountains are not very easy to get to, and you kind of need a car, or you have to spend a lot of the time doing very uncomfortable public transportation or walking and stuff like this. Before I was not really down to do that. Now absolutely happy to whenever I get the chance to. To show you a little bit of a context on how not flat Seoul is, here I am on a little bit of a hill. There is more buildings over there on the hill. There you see all the people living in apartments and offices and stuff like this. Over there you see an Namsan Tower, which is on the hill, and right behind is a mountain. And this is the landscape of Seoul. It's different from where I used to grow up in, and I enjoy it so far. And it's very interesting to see how those buildings are built, even on the mountainous areas. Alright, so the second point I would like to touch on is the relationships. Relationships with people in general, friendships, relationships with my family and so on. Just because I live here in Seoul and for the longest time I've been struggling with actually speaking in Korean. So naturally lots of my friends are foreign friends, and then they come and go. With some of the closest ones I gotta stay in touch long distance, and the same goes for my family. Just because we don't see each other for years, and maybe we will not see each other for the rest of our lives, the only thing we have when it comes to communication is social media. And that's actually a very challenging part sometimes, because people are different, friends are different, and while with your family you kind of know the fact that they want to stay in touch with you, you want to stay in touch with them. When it comes to people, things are a little bit different. Some people are more down to stay in touch online, some people are not down to stay in touch online, and some people just prefer to check up on you once in a while. Some people would be down to chat maybe every week or so. And it's different, and these are the stuff that I've been figuring out, but the fact is that absolute majority of people that I know, people that I call friends, and in my family as well, it's long distance. The relationships that I have with them is long distance, and that's something that takes some time to get used to, but then after being here for about 6 years, this has become a new normal. People who make efforts to stay in touch with me, even though they are across the earth or we may never see each other again, this touches my heart, and this is very important. And that's why those people, I would love to be close to them somehow, in some way, for the longest I can. Also, the beautiful mountain that you see behind me is Bukhansan. We've been there a couple of times, I brought you with me. Absolutely stunning mountain and absolutely worth going there. With about a couple of hours hike, you get some of the best views you can get all over Korea. And the second point I would love to talk about is safety, overall safety. Being able to be anywhere you want, anytime you want, all over Korea, without feeling like you could be robbed, without feeling like somebody may steal something from me, without feeling like anybody of you or your loved ones are in danger. Like there are certain stuff that I would do here that I know I will never be able to do in most of the other countries, with a few exceptions. I, for example, am very comfortable working in a cafe, using my laptop, and then leaving it on the table for, I don't know, a phone call or a bathroom break or anything else. And I could do this for 20-30 minutes knowing that nobody will touch my laptop. It's overall safety that the country has, which makes things like this possible. I don't ever have to worry about how I wear my bag, just because sometimes it would be normal for me to wear my bag in the front, basically like this in a subway or in a crowded place, just because if somebody were to try to get something from my bag, I would see it. Here I don't do that at all. Also, I'd like to introduce you to my favorite type of transportation in Seoul, the public bikes. They're super cheap, and Seoul is actually very convenient when it comes to traveling with public bikes. Alright, and the last thing that I want to mention is the fact that I have started to take care of my face a little bit differently, and I think it was a good kind of a change. So originally I was the type of person who used a soap and then I upgraded to a face wash, and that was the only thing that I had while I was in Korea for, I don't know, about like 3 or 4 years or so. And from this year I have started to be open to products that I would not really be open to using before. I was actually the person who didn't really use a sunscreen before as well, so it was all very simple, and here in the past, I think, year it changed. I'm not going over the top, and I know there are lots of solutions you can use for your face, and again, for a guy it's a little bit different, but you can still come up with products, and I think that would be a little bit too much for me right now. But the very few special things that I use is a foam cleanser, something that was the biggest step forward. Again, it's just a replacement for the cleanser that I had before. And then I've started to use an all-in-one, so it's basically the lotion, essence and things like this that you put all at once, that comes in a bottle, and then I just usually put it twice a day before the bed and in the morning before heading out, and that replaces basically the whole skincare routine. And again, this is a very simple solution, but it works very well and something that I didn't use before. And I also used the black cat thing, so it's like 3 steps, really good for this area of your nose. I don't know, some people use it, some people don't. I do have black and white spots, so it does help me. And the last thing, and again a very important upgrade, is a essence. It's a sunscreen essence that I use sometimes whenever I go outside. Again, I was the type of person who would just not use sunscreen at all, but I think together this 1, 2, 3 step routine is something that I would probably never have imagined using if you asked me, let's say 3 years ago, because it was too much. Like, all of this was too much. Thank you very much for watching till the end. These are just a few aspects of my life that came into my head. I know there'll be more, and maybe I'll make another one. And yeah, thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next one.